Hey everyone, it's me, Reality, and today we are back with a different kind of video. So I got a new sewing machine. It is a Brother CS6000i. It's computerized. I'm gonna turn it on. It's computerized. You can select your stitches by going by these numbers and stuff. Anyway, it's a nice machine. I love it. And the first thing that I wanted to do was to make a dress. So the dress that I made, I've already made it. The dress that I made a page for it in my bullet journal. And basically I just saw the pattern in the store and I wanted to make it. So basically it is this dress right here. It's a blue dress. Well, it didn't have to be blue, but I made it blue. And it has these really pretty like gathered sleeves that fall, and it has a princess seam down the middle. It's really nice. So there was a couple of versions of this dress. I made version C, which was short and had the sleeves and everything, and I made it out of this 100% cotton fabric that frayed terribly, but it's okay. These are my measurements that I had taken myself. These are the measurements that I took, and basically I wrote when I started and when I ended. I started on the 13th of May and I ended on the 16th of May. So it took me 3 days. To give some background, I used to sew when I was in high school. I had a Brother sewing machine also. It was a lower grade than this. And basically I used to sew and make stuff for myself, for people in my family, things like that. But then my machine, I got a second hand from OfferUp, and my machine had broke. So I didn't sew for it broke in 10th grade, so I didn't sew until now. So to get back into it, because I didn't used to follow patterns, I used to make my own patterns with my own clothes. So to get back into it, I thought I should like use a pattern to get back to my skills, you know? So I use a pattern, and I'm basically just gonna show you guys how it went. So yeah, let's get into it. This is gonna be a voiceover, so yeah. To start, I pinned down my pattern pieces to my fabric. This helps so that the pattern pieces don't move around while I'm cutting them out. And I started cutting them out with my rotary cutter, but that decided not to work at some point in time for some reason. So I went on to just using scissors, and it worked completely fine. I used a lot of pins when I put my pattern pieces down, just because I don't want it to move at all, because if you mess up on a cut or mess up on cutting out the pattern pieces, it can mess up the whole thing. So yeah, I just cut out every piece that the pattern needed. Some of the pieces need to be cut out twice, or need to be cut out on fold, which means on the fold of the fabric. So yeah, I just did that entire part. These are all the pieces that my pattern required. I think in total it was about 16, 17 pieces. So yeah. This part I'm just sewing the lining to the fabric. So for the bodice pieces, like the top half of the dress, I just made the lining out of the same exact fabric that the outside was going to be out of. But then for the skirt pieces, I made them out of a different fabric. I lined it with a more stretchy fabric because of, you know, you gotta go over your butt. So yeah. After you sew the lining to the outside, you want to turn that piece inside out. And that way you're going to have the right side on the outside. And you're going to do that with all the pieces. This is a skirt piece. Like I said, I did a different type of lining with this fabric. I didn't have to sew the lining on separately like this. I could have just made a lining like dress just to sew into the entire dress. But I wanted to do it this way because I didn't want to mess up the princess seam, because I never did that before, so I didn't want to mess it up. But yeah, I just continued doing the same process with all the pieces. These are all the pieces that I had in the end. And now you want to take a break to do the most important part, and that is to pick up your scraps. Now I'm going to sew the front side bodice pieces onto the front bodice piece, and I do that by pinning them along the curve on both sides and then sewing along that curve. This is what I have after doing that, and it's just the front of the shirt part of this dress. Next, I'm going to sew my darts into my back bodice piece. Making darts is a little bit hard to explain, so I'm going to have to put that in a different video. But I just did that to both sides of the bodice pieces. You end up with something like this. Next, I'm going to sew the shoulder seams and the side seams of the front and back bodice together. This part was a little tricky, but to make the sleeves, I had to take the sleeve pattern piece and put it inside of the sleeve opening of my shirt and then pin along that circle. This is what it should look like after I have pins all around. And then I just sew that together. And I tried it on and danced around like a fool. Next, to sew the skirt pieces together was really easy, and I ended up with this like long rectangle thing. Next, I'm going to sew the top part onto the skirt part. Basically, I did that by flipping the shirt over to the back and pinning along the top, and then just sewing along that straight side. On to see how it fit, and I realized that it was a bit too wide for me, so I ended up having to take it in 4 inches on each side, and I did that 4 inches exactly straight down the middle really, because the zipper, after I put the zipper in, it was going to make more room for like my butt. So here I am again trying it on to make sure it fits, and it does. Next, to put in the zipper, I seam ripped down a little bit on the butt and then pin the zipper on both sides and then sew that together. Next, I am going to hem the bottom just by rolling it in 1 inch or so and then sewing along that. Next thing I did was fold in the back V to make it a bit wider. That's pretty much it for making the dress, and now we can see how I did. Here is the finished product. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you guys want to see another sewing video like this. I have so many ideas in my head, and I can easily just record it and let you guys know what I'm doing with my new machine. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!